Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving back to consent calendar items 2.1 through 2.8, with the exception of item 2.4. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I have a conflict of interest on item 2.6 and will not be voting on that item.
Thank you. In that case, I will move for the consent calendar.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Could we please vote?
Motion carried unanimously. With regard to item number 2.6, Bragg disqualified due to a potential conflict of interest.
Thank you, and I have to apologize here. I did miss an item of presentation on the agenda. It was very important, but somehow the yellow highlighter stuck out in front of me on this one. And I'd like to invite Dee McLean to the podium with me first. On behalf of the City Council of Imperial Beach, myself, also the people of Imperial, this was put together by the people of the Veterans Association of your late husband, and he put it here at Veterans Park, and he wanted to make sure that you got to keep it, along with a little letter from us here at the city. We do really appreciate it. I documented work with your husband. He did a lot of things. Moving on to agenda, we have postponed item 3.1. Moving right on to item 3.2.
Mayor, Council, this item is summarized in the chart that in effect makes a correction to previous end dates for redevelopment and correctly adds the additional 5 years to it as shown in the chart.
Okay, I declare the public hearing open. Do we have any public comments on this item, Ms.
No,
Clerk?
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments from council members originally? Close the public hearing. I call for introduction of ordinance number 2010-1111.
Ordinance number 2010-1111, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Imperial Beach to correctly state and extend the plan effectiveness and tax increment deadlines for the redevelopment plan for the Palm Avenue commercial redevelopment project pertaining to the original project area and the added area pursuant to Health and Safety Code Section 3333.2C.
I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with the first reading, introduction of ordinance 2010-1111 by title only and waive further reading, set the matter for adoption at our next regularly scheduled city council meeting, and authorize the publication in a newspaper of general circulation. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Could we please vote?
Motion carried unanimously by those present.
Moving on to ordinance's second reading of item 4.1, Mr. Brown.
Mayor, Council, this is the second reading, as you mentioned. It's to clarify rules about the administrative citations. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to respond.
Do we have any public speaker slips in this item?
No, Mr. Mayor.
No public speaker slips. This is a second reading. We had a discussion last meeting on it. Do we have any questions for staff? Not seeing any. I entertain. I have to call for the reading of the title of the ordinance.
Ordinance number 2010-1109, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Imperial Beach, California, amending Section 1.12.020 of Chapter 1.12 and Sections 1.22.030, 1.22.060, 1.22.070, 1.22.080, 1.22.100, 1.22.110, 1.22.120, and 1.22.160 of Chapter 1.22 of the Imperial Beach Municipal Code regarding civil penalties, administrative citations, and fines.
Entertain a motion to adopt. Entertain a motion to dispense with the second reading and adopt ordinance 2010-1109 by title only. Do we have any further discussion on that item? Could we please vote?
Motion carried unanimously by those present.
Moving on to item 4.2, Mr. Brown.
Mayor Council, this also is a second reading of an ordinance to regulate adult entertainment establishments. Now the staff memo lays out the reasoning behind this and how we're trying to make sure the places are safe for public health and safety. So if there are any questions, we'll once again answer.
Let's see any questions. There is a representative from the one activity that we have here in town. If we had any questions for him, and I do appreciate him being here again. He was here at our last meeting. We're the first reading of this ordinance. I call for the reading of the title of ordinance 2010-1110.
Ordinance number 2010-1110, an ordinance of the City Council for the City of Imperial Beach, California, to add Chapter 9.80 of the Imperial Beach Municipal Code pertaining to adult entertainment establishments.
I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with the second reading and adopt ordinance 2010-1110 by title only. We have a motion and a second. Could we please vote?
May we have an oral vote?
We sure can. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Motion carried unanimously by those present.
Moving on to item 5.1. Declare the public hearing open. Mr. Brown?
Mayor Council, this is a resolution of necessity pertaining to the acquisition of certain property or interest in property, leasehold interest in the property, if any, and loss of goodwill pursuant to Section 1263.510. It relates to the acquisition at the Ninth and Palm Center and the potential relocation of a business there.
I do notice that Mr. Beamer from the City Attorney's Law Firm is here, has been working on this case. If we have any questions, he's here to answer those for us. I do have two public speaker slips, I believe. Herbert Beard, would you like to say something?
My name is Herbert Beard, and I live over here at 1193 Loudon Lane. And I've been a patron of this family business for 15, 20 years. I don't understand why this city council isn't working with them to try to help them relocate into this city. They've got a good business going, they've got a large clientele, and as far as I know, there's never been any complaints about it, at least not from me. So, I know that there's an issue here that's gone to court once. The city council, or the city has not prevailed. I understand it's under consideration to appeal it. That makes no sense to me. That's my money. That's our money. You lost once, you know? Why don't you negotiate, have done with it, and move on? Everybody can move on with their lives. But I firmly support these folks, and I really think it's in the best interest of this city, which doesn't have a whole lot of business income, to help them relocate, stay within the city, and keep that business and those monies generated right here.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. I also have Corinne Clark.